Brief of asmag.com. I'm today's host. So before we start, let me share my PowerPoint. Yeah, then I will briefly introduce asmag.com. Asmag.com is the business media focusing on security and smart IoT for about 20 years. And under Mesa Frankfurt, we have a strong presence in Asia, especially under Secutech and INS Magazine and asmag.com. So I will do a brief introductions, like how is it important, why a system integrator would like to know about video analytics. So I'll give you a brief introductions. So before we start this, please remember to submit your question during the conversation using the Q&A, the button of your screen. So we will answer all the questions in the end of the Q&A session. Okay, so that gets started. So let me introduce Zhao. He's the VP of IISI and also board of director of ITS Taiwan. He's been engaged with many large-scale IT projects in Taiwan, especially e-governments, intelligent transportation systems, open data, and big data application. So he will discuss how video analytics are used for highway, intersection, tunnel, and road. So that's welcome, Mr. Zhao.
Presentation, I will focus on two areas. First one is traffic safety, especially for the law enforcement. And the second one is the traffic management area, especially for the traffic light, traffic signal control. For the two areas, I want to describe the problems we encountered and also the goals. And then I will share with audience some use cases. And then I will explain the features and function and also the specification of the device. And finally, I will have some lessons learned. So first area is about the law enforcement. The problems happens especially on the highways, street roads, and the intersections. There are different kinds of problems. For highways, now speeding is one of the major causes for the incident, especially inside the tunnels or on some dangerous roads such as mountains, roads or freeways or expressways. As for the street roads, I think now the most encountered problem in Taiwan is illegal parking, because the illegal parking at bus stops or bus lanes or train stations or airports reception area. These situations or illegal parking will cause the driver, then will interrupt the traffic, and also this illegal behavior is difficult to issue ticket for policemen because the technology issue. The third one is the intersection problems. The illegal running of red lights or the left turn or U-turn illegal behavior happens at the intersections. They also will cause the traffic problems very serious. So traditional technologies are difficult to issue tickets for these kinds of violations. So our goal is to utilize the technologies to increase the coverage of the law enforcement and also decrease incidents happening, and also maximizing the police efficiencies. and finally to smooth the traffic flow. So the first use case is for the tunnel area. Now in Taiwan, we start to use the average speed-based speeding enforcement. This technology is different from traditional. With traditional, we utilize radar spot detection. The problem is radar type detection only limited to specific or limited range of area. But by using the average speed-based speeding enforcement, we can increase the coverage of the whole section or whole tunnel. The concept is very easy to understand. We just through the entry point and exit point detection cameras, we can collect and record the vehicle license and also their passing time, so we can compare the time difference and to calculate the average speed the driver that travel through the tunnel. Okay, very easy. And the right side is the third kind of use case. That's for the intersection. We can identify the illegal driving at intersections. For normally there are four kinds of illegal scenario. First one is rounding up the red light, and the second one is illegal U-turn, and the third one is left turn occupancy. That means you cannot occupy the left turn lane illegally, and the last one is illegal turn, not following the traffic sign. And now in this next slide, I will share with you the specification and the features of the system. For example, for the average speed-based speeding enforcement, normally we use the camera with the resolution above 1920 times 80 times 1080 pixels above, and also the H point 264, 265, and motion JPEG. These standards must be compliant, and normally we expect to have 30 frames per second above. As for the detection of the vehicle's license plate, 90% accuracy is at least, and the picture not only include the image, but also they must have the information about the detection time of zone entry and exit, and also the long distance speed limit, speed detected, and license plate, and so on. Because basic concept is to calculate the average speed, so the time synchronization is very important. So we have to have all device equipment and the computer system have the same time. So we will utilize the GPS or NTP server, this kind of synchronization technology. Finally, the system must store time synchronization log for further auditing. Next slide is talking about the illegal parking enforcement. The same, for the detection camera, we have the same specification as the average speed-based law enforcement. But as for the illegal parking enforcement must cover large, bigger zones. So we have at the panoramic camera, they can have more room to record the whole area video. So the detection zone must have 50 meters long and 2 meters wide at least. And how to distinguish if the car is illegal parking. So normally we set the time threshold as 3 minutes. So that means illegal parking over 3 minutes is not allowed. Okay, the next slide just show the performance, the before and after study for the law enforcement. For example, for the illegal parking and speeding, two kinds of scenario. You can see we have an improvement of the to decrease the violation cases by 93% and 94% respectively. So the performance result is very good. Yeah. The second topic is about traffic management. I think a traditional traffic data collection technology utilizes the microwave or loop type of detectors can only collect the traffic flow, the speed, the occupancy, this kind of traffic data. But using the AI based technology, we can collect more traffic data, like traffic queue length, the vehicle turning flow, and we can identify special vehicle like emergency vehicles or pedestrian flow. And finally, we can collect the vehicle delays on the intersection. So having this kind of data, we can integrate with traffic intersections, traffic light or traffic signal controller, and carry out more dynamic control to make the traffic light meet the actual needs. Okay. So this slide, you can see left picture, you can see the green arrow and the orange block. So the green arrow, they show the passing traffic flow during the green phase. For the orange block, you can see the queue length and the dispersing of platoon among red phase. So our goal is to keep no idle time within the green phase and the total clearance of queue length among red phase. Sorry, I have to speed up my presentation. The time is not enough.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. That's fine. Go ahead. You have still plenty of time to finish the presentation.
Okay. And this slide just show you two kinds of architecture for the traffic management type application. The upper one is Edge AI type, and the bottom one is a video server type. For the above Edge AI type, that means videos identification and classification is carried out by the Edge AI box, and then they transmit the result to the backend server for more calculation. As for the bottom one, the videos server or backend type architecture, we transmit our real-time video streaming data to the backend, and then the AI model or AI identification mechanism are carried out by the backend server. So for legacy CCTV system, because their cameras existed, so they may be not can be replaced by advanced cameras. We normally recommend our customers to use the bottom one architectures to fully utilize their existing camera. And this kind of application, we require a full HD resolution camera. And also we have asked the specification to comply with the H.264, 265, and 30 frames per second above. And because the camera is mounted on the single pole, so the detection range must be from 30 to 50 meters. And the accuracy we have achieved now, you can see the figures there. No matter daytime, nighttime, or rainy time, you can see now the accuracy is above 80%, and even the traffic speed we can achieve overall 94%. I think this kind of performance, this kind of accuracy result is acceptable to our customer. This slide we just show you the some spec as for your reference. For edge AI-based, we use NVIDIA's Nano or TX1 product, and if for the backend AI system, our GPU server, we normally have this kind of spec. And the video source, the camera, they can provide the RTSPH .264, this kind of a spec. Currently, the detection algorithm, we utilize the Euro version 4. So the last one is about the lessons we learned from the two kinds of architecture in the traffic management area. For the edge detection type of system, because the detection mechanism is performed by the edge side box, so the performance is limited because embedded hardware, their spec may be not powerful enough. So it can only identify the simple detection functions. And this type of system, we have to care about the robustness of the hardware. And but the advantage of this kind of architecture is that it only transmits detected data, so no video or image data. So their communication expense can be lowered down. As for the backend detection, because backend computing performance is more powerful, so it's better than that of the roadside, and it can detect more complex functions. And also the multi-channel image recognition can be processed at the same time. So it can fully utilize the higher grade server and multiple GPU cards. But the disadvantage of this kind of architecture is that the video data consume a lot of bandwidth of the communication. So customer may have to pay higher communication fee. Okay, I think I have finished my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Xiao. Such great presentations. Okay, I have a question for you. I think in Asia, video analytics used for like law enforcement, for example, just you said like illegal parking or illegal driving is very popular and seems it's bring lots of positive results. So can you give us more suggestions, especially for system integrator, like how to evaluate before considering using video analytics?
I think our major customer is traffic management agencies and law enforcement agencies. From the viewpoint of the customers, they think this kind of technology can save their patrol time, their patrol effort. Yeah. So where the illegal driving behavior happens and citizens complain most, they are willing to deploy the video-based law enforcement system there. Yeah, so I think this is a very simple criteria. If you can find the right law section, right area, cost investment performance ratio will be higher. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Xiao. Okay, let's introduce the last speaker, David Lee. He's the Business Development Director for Business Services. The company is a global IT and communication service provider, and now its service also enable all the business to easily manage data and objects. So also in the past 20 years, David is CT industry, and he's been involved with many large complex IT solutions like IoT, smart city, big enterprises. He will talk about how video analytics is used for management in seaport logistics. So let's welcome Mr. Lee. Hi.
Hello, thank you, Jill. Thanks, Mark, for your insightful sharing. Thank you all for joining us. Yeah, so let me share my screen right now. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So thanks. So just a little bit of background. I'm not sure if many people know Orange. So let me just go into the slide. Actually, Orange is one of the top 10 largest telecom operators in the world. And Orange Business Services is a subsidiary of Orange. So we do mainly B2B businesses. Our background is typically telco related type services, telecommunications, but we also provide, because we have that background in terms of providing communications and network connectivity. So we have a large group that also provides smart city projects, IoT projects, and we do a fair bit of different digital transformation projects for our customers in all parts of the world, including Asia. So, we're a fairly large organization that drives a lot of digital transformation for our customers. If you look at AI, and we have AI and data experts, we have cloud experts. There are, of course, a large employee base. In Singapore, where I'm based, we are essentially the APAC HQ, which covers Japan, ASEAN, China, India, Korea, basically Asia Pacific areas. So we are a fairly large and strong organization, and we have many IoT smart city projects that which I will share in my next slide. Essentially, our vision is because we are a network native digital service company, so we connect, protect, and innovate for sustainable business growth because we provide end-to-end capabilities to our customers. We don't just look at the network portion where the core of our business is, but we look at the whole, providing the whole end-to-end capability for our customers. As you know, the world of the Internet of the enterprises are changing. So essentially, different businesses, different verticals are looking at different areas where they want to revolutionize and change their business, especially with COVID-19, especially with working from home, especially with all these turbulence that we are facing right now. I think there's more push in terms of digital transformation. And at the same time, typically IT and OT are in a way sometimes separate, but we are now looking at the situation where there is a fair bit of IT and OT convergence in the world, because we need to look at operational technology together, how that works together well with information technology. And that's where the convergence, and that's where you see the changes, the vast changes and progress for many businesses. And we look at different verticals where you see it in transportation, logistics, building, construction, mining, refinery, power, utilities, building and facilities. all these leading to IT and OT convergence and those capabilities. From our perspective, we tend to provide an end-to-end capability for our customers. So the front end, which is the IoT sensors and devices, those are important because those capture the data that is necessary, which includes video analytics, video data. And then of course there's there could be many forms of other type of sensors where we are capturing data, collecting that data. And then there's the connectivity piece where you transfer the data into a platform. And the platform is where most of the data are managed and also have a way to be able to visualize that data, to get that data, to make sure it makes sense to people, and doing analytics and preventive maintenance and all that. And then also having that data to be able to then use it for communications and messaging, for other additional microservices, for other types of applications that could be very specific, very niche to particular types of verticals. Underlining all these together, we need to make sure that the whole end-to-end piece is secure. So that's where, that's why we talk about the whole end-to-end capability. It's not just the devices and the platform and the access, you need the whole secure end-to-end capability. So that's how we typically enable and collect and also work with our customers. We sit down with them to understand their key requirements and then propose a valid solution that makes sense to them where their expectations are met. Underlining all of this, why we think that a good platform, a good end-to-end solution is critical and important, because there are now so many different sensors. If you look at my previous slide, there are so many different sensors, so many different devices out there. And each of these providers are all providing different data capture platforms, data capture capabilities. The best way to make use of your data and to make use of all the data that is coming in from the different areas of your vertical of the customer's business is to have a good platform that can then seamlessly capture all this information and then enable the data sharing through a shared and interoperable infrastructure, and then bring people together and process and policies so that you can have a intelligent insights on what to do and how to plan for your strategy. And that's why the key and the value for a good platform. And that's where we think that's important for many businesses and how we are engaging the customers. I'll now just dive in and focus a little bit more on the port facilities in maritime. I mean, this is something that we have done for a number of our customers, which I will probably share a little bit in our use cases. But if you look at the HSSE challenges in maritime and port, HSSE, if some of you are aware and also you are in industry, is about health, safety, security, and environmental challenges, basically. And these days, there are many of these type of challenges within the port and maritime. So from an environmental issue, these days, governments are very concerned about water quality, climate change, hazardous materials, and all that. There are solutions out there that can help those areas to manage it from a port perspective. Then, of course, importantly, there are health and safety issues. There are physical hazards that could endanger the lives of the workers. And also, increasingly, you do see a lot of ports and a lot of customers using video analytics to monitor and to prevent these hazards and to prevent the issues that may occur from these areas. Of course, then there are dangerous goods handling in terms of regulatory procedures. There are a lot of operational procedures that need to adhere to. So then you also see video analytics coming into the play, where it can actually help identify issues that certain operations, certain procedures are not adhered to. And of course, security management, which is key for any port operations in terms of having people going in and out of the port area, whether they are the right personnel to fear, to ensure there are no terrorist attacks and security risks. And of course, then you have those areas of facial recognition, biometrics. Those are important areas as well, especially. In my next slide, besides the HSSE challenges, they are also talking about business critical challenges, and these are areas where we can look in from a port. So as you can see, actually, there's so many issues relating to the port facilities, port operations, and all that. The discussion today is very much on video analytics and how it helps, but it's beyond that, because we need to look at end-to-end capabilities, need to look at how it all fits into operations and running a port. So of course you have fleet management, asset tracking, then you have workplace safety and productivity, the connectivity, and of course importantly, how do you move forward and how do you strategize and how do you gain to the next step using data analytics and predictive maintenance with the data that you have. So these are all challenges that could be overcome through various types of solutions. So just a little bit of sharing. As you can see here, because of the end-to-end capabilities are important, because typically when a customer wants to do something, sometimes it's difficult if you only provide one piece. So from Orange perspective, the IoT value chain is very vast. There are many players. What we try to do is to be able to consolidate the whole value chain, work with different partners to provide end-to-end solution for our customers, essentially. So then, as we shared earlier on, you have sensors from the cargo, you have sensors on the cranes and operations and the machines that are operating. Then, of course, you have video that is capturing data from either from a security perspective, also to measure safety hazards. And then using that whole data collection and integrating them into a single strong platform, you can then gather insights. So you have asset container tracking, you have remote operations, you have video surveillance, access control, and all this. So just to give you an overview of the different types of data that you can be collecting, and how in the future actually there'll be a bit more artificial intelligence and machine learning to be able to support not just from a port operations, but for various different operations as well, and bringing intelligence to your overall operations. Just share a little bit of leveraging on data analytics to optimize port operations. This is in Antwerp. Being a French company, so we have a lot of case studies in Europe. Essentially, using a lot of data that we are tracking from a real-time tracking perspective, and having tracking of the vessels within the ship areas and optimize vessel traffic, and using all these automatic signals, individual signals for real-time data lake, and collecting all this data so that we can implement advanced analytics, heat maps and operations and preventive maintenance in terms of collision causes or where there may be hazards. And all these are extremely important data that we could be using in the port operations. Another case study which we have done a POC for a customer where they have actually used a machine utilization or crane utilization to ensure that a lot of these cranes and machines are not being put to waste if they're not fully optimized and used. So they are using real-time monitoring and control, using data and video streaming in real time to ensure that the productivity is kept within the crane operations as well. This then reduces manpower, and you don't waste the manpower that are not using the cranes and optimizing it. That's perspective. So I think yeah, I'm more or less done, and I think we save some time for a little bit more question and answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Does see any questions coming in? Oh, no. But yeah, here my question for you. So through your presentation, we understand there's the challenges and also new opportunity in the end-to-end IoT kind of solution. So from data points of view, because you all deal with data, right? So how AI and machine learning can like actually drive the developments of IoT business? Yeah, especially for C4, or you can, especially for C4 or logistic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is the wave of the future, and many people are talking about AI and machine learning. And definitely these are areas that could help in a lot of the operations. I mean, I've been involved in I've seen projects where they are using drones as well and AI to identify wear and tear of certain machines, machines and even buildings and even the warehouses and all that. So that all these are important to prevent accidents from happening. Then of course you have analytics to prevent potential issues from occurring, and to also to prevent, to identify where a machine or a crane needs to go for maintenance early, so that it doesn't cause breakdown, because if it's a breakdown, it could be even longer, but having preventive maintenance beforehand will actually save a lot of time. Yeah. These are all important and yeah, crucial ways of using AI and machine learning.
I think it's have a very good influence, great influence to all different kind of industries.
Correct.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Lee. Hey, we have a final speaker. Yeah, that is Sunny Kong, is the managing director for APEC BriefCam. BriefCam is the industry leading provider of video synopsis and deep learning solutions. This product also being deployed by many like law enforcement, public safety organization, of course, many big enterprise. Sunny also have many years of experience, 15 years experience in CCTV and IP video surveillance. So he will give us an update of the latest development of IT-assisted traffic video analytics. So let's welcome Sunny. Hi.
Hi, Jill. Thank you for the quick introduction. Fantastic presentation from our past two speakers. A lot of examples of how AI and machine learning can be used. Today, similarly, I'll present something similar to explain to the audience what sort of application, what sort of a solution that we can provide to them based on the AI-assisted use of traffic video analytics. Okay, I'm going to begin my presentation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead to give a quick preview. Today, BriefCam is offering a platform solution in terms of like video analytics. We integrate three seamlessly solution. In short, what we are very strong in the past for BriefCam is that we are strong in forensic investigation. That's where our key strength, and that's where our patents come from in terms of like the video synopsis solution. So we have a module we call in our product called a review. Okay, this product helps customer to accelerate forensic video investigation by reviewing hours of video in minutes. Okay, rapid pinpointing objects of interest such as men, women, children, vehicles, face recognition, license plate recognition. speed of the vehicle, direction of the vehicle, and what sort of dwell time did the vehicle stay in certain area, and a lot of wide variety of search filters. So, in order to quickly search for those, items of interest, we could use our review module to shorten the process because we have understood those metadata within the video, which we have already done the analysis and put into a database. And whenever we want to search for something that is of nature in those kind of search criteria, then the solution will be able to quickly present the search result. So this really helps the customer in terms of like people from the police force, people from the city surveillance, when they want to search for certain items very quickly in terms of like description, they could actually do so easily within a BriefCam. Okay, BriefCam also has improved our portfolio in terms of the integrated platform solution. We have added on a attained situational awareness, which is our response module. Okay, response module actually complements the forensic search, but the key difference between the review and response is that the response will go to look for items which customer has set up the criteria for us to look at real-time video review. Okay, this allows us to understand quickly on the conditions that we have set, and if those conditions are being met, those situation awareness items that we wanted to understand, to actually prompt the command center or to inform people who are on the ground quickly to take some action. So some example could be when a certain place is too crowded, I would like to inform the security guard, or in the events of transportation, if let's say in the train station where you have too many people mingles around, even during this COVID-19 situation, okay, globally, we could inform the operation or the ground crew to, get people to move away or to maintain some sort of social distance. So a lot of application can be used within the response from BriefCam. And lastly, our deriving operation intelligence is our research module. This is really one of the hot selling product that today BriefCam is focusing a lot into. This gives the ability to derive operation intelligence through understanding the trend and the analysis of what is happening in your environment. So, the first two modules is that we do the forensic, we do the real time, and lastly, on the third aspect is that we have the research module to give you the business intelligence, the idea of what is actually happening in those situations where data are being captured through the video. We could strip down the metadata and understand them, and we could present them into a digital dashboard so that high-level people, the decision maker, could have those digital dashboard to understand what has happened during this time and what sort of planning they need to take in the near future. So this is really to help the customer to have support evidence through video data, converting to real data, and allow them to make use of those information wisely. Okay. Okay. With our comprehensive platform approach, BriefCam has breakthrough video analytic technology. We provide a robust platform that can do the forensic search as well as to get the situation awareness. So, we want to have a single platform to provide multiple items, so customer could look at one platform to achieve different instances of what they want to complete within their offering of the solution within the environment. Okay, so one of the other key thing that has gone strength to strength for BriefCam is that we have unmatched accuracy. I think this has come with our performance and experience over 12 years. We are a 12-year-old company. We have a lot of video database, and we use AI technology to have machine learning to improve our accuracy of to a greater height. So these are some of the key thing of using machine learning, where you have lots of information that's being shared by the customer, some of the information that we have gotten ourselves. With this large database, we could learn those information and able to detect, able to understand accurately each item within the video. Okay, so these are some of the key things to make sure that VA today could actually deliver in terms of accuracy detection. Next thing I'm going to share, okay, with this superior performance, we are effectively supports the requirement for both on-demand and real-time analytics for full camera coverages. You know, today we are lucky to have new processing abilities from GPUs. We are able to now handle the video quicker and more efficient, thereby giving better performance in terms of accuracy. Okay, the next thing I'm going to cover is a flexible architecture. Today, customer has become really IT savvy. I mean, even though we traditionally come from CCTV offering solution in the past, but I think now we are very attached to IT. You know, customer talks about flexible architecture that they want to deploy, the BriefCam solution. They want to make sure that we are able to meet their business need of today and tomorrow. With centralized, distributed, cloud, or even hybrid deployment architecture. So this become very important because every businesses today has their own dynamics, has their own pain points and problems to be solved. So with our flexibility to be employed in different ways to deploy our solution, that gives them a lot of flexibility to achieve what they want. Okay. And lastly, one of the really exciting things, I heard from customer feedback is that, BriefCam is easy to use. Even for myself as a really not technical user, the interface of BriefCam has been designed to be intuitive, and that training reduce a lot of time to help the operator to learn to use our product, and that will enhance the productivity. Very important, because every deployment, customer are concerned, how much time to be deployed and how much time required to ensure that the operator are efficient enough to use. So BriefCam has a key strength of this 12 years of experience, and we have a very intuitive GUI, that anybody can pick up just easily within a couple of days. Okay, I would like to quickly just talk a little bit about BriefCam. So, I see a lot of audience, some familiar friends in the list of audience list, but of course there are some new friends over here. I would like to quickly just touch on BriefCam at a glance. So, we have been operating since 2008, 12 years of experience, offices across 3 continents, USA, EMEA, and APAC, many customers, 2,000 plus. We safeguard national institutions like Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, Dubai City, Thailand Airport, Taiwan Police. So a lot of customers, be it in the US, EMEA, as well as in APAC. So we actually have patented our video synopsis as our special patent. So we are strong in this view in terms of a video synopsis. So a lot of customer has been working with us. Particularly, law enforcement. Yeah. So we have 3 key products which I mentioned. I'll not go onto this anymore because I've already explained. We have the rapid review, the real-time smart alerting, as well as the dynamic quantitative insight. Okay, to those information that has been collected by BriefCam after we do the analysis of those video. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to cover, traffic optimization use cases. Today in transport industry, it relies a lot on video surveillance. If you step into a train station, you go to the airports, you go onto the bus, you could see cameras everywhere. The law enforcement, the customer today knows that it's important to able to respond efficiently and effectively to security incidents, and the only best way is to have video footages to actually support them. Okay, post-event investigation, Okay, for example, some of the typical example is that I would like to search for a vehicle that has done illegal U-turn, for example, or illegal right turn, for example. How do we quickly spot those vehicles? Is it by the color of the vehicle? Is it by the license plate of the vehicle? You know, these are all possible within BriefCam itself, because we already understood those videos that was being captured, and we are able to put in the search criteria quickly. We could get those results to support the investigation. And some of the time also for the post-investigation, we would like to look for a person, maybe a person has caused some vandalism in the train station, caused some mayhem in the train station. You know, if let's say we could supply, or we understand this timing or this face recognition of this person. So again, we could actually quickly pick him up from our database of video, so that we can actually you know, do the search warrant, or to make sure that we get hold of this guy. So these are some of the typical examples that we can actually deploy in the use of transportation. Okay. The other thing that we would like to have in the transportation world, we want to be able to have the situation awareness to detect anomalies, and able to alert the command center to take quick action. Okay, some typical example could be the vehicle, you know, suddenly moves very slowly. Okay, the normal speed, they could be traveling at 80 or 90. You know, these are thresholds that can be set, and suddenly it's like traveling at 30 or 40 kilometers, 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. Then we could, you know, create alert to inform the command center. Then, you know, somebody will be on hand to look at redirecting the vehicle to another path or to another lane, to make sure that, you know, we can continue to have a smooth flow of the traffic. So, you know, this could be some of the example that we actually use widely in terms of transportation. Next thing, I'm going to quickly talk about the traffic optimization. A lot of our customers today, they also wanted to understand, you know, what type of vehicles that travels on the highway. Is it the truck that travels most on the highway at this particular time, or is it vehicles, motorbicycle that travels on the highway at this particular timing of the day? You know, this allows the people that's in charge of planning and designing of the road have all those key information, whereby they could, you know, finally decide or to alter the highway to a better usage at a certain time of the day. Yeah. Okay. And lastly, demographic analysis over there. One of the key example use that we see that our customer are, you know, getting onto this is that they even wanted to understand, you know, what are the gender that comes into the train station or to the airport, to you know, to design in a way is that more old people comes at a certain time of the day, you know, to this transportation hub, so that they can do more planning. These are all the information that we could gather within the use of BriefCam, because we could understand the gender. Is it a male or female? Is it the children that actually comes into the train station or to the transportation hub? Okay, so
you have 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I'll speed up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so next thing, okay, I'm going to cover on the traffic optimization. Okay, whether is it on the highway or parking lot or city street, you know, BriefCam helps the organization to quantify and classify the number type of vehicles, visitor, discover their movement patterns, identify hotspot, maximize the space utilization, and optimize the traffic flow. Okay, BriefCam actually help law enforcement, city planners, professionals to easily track the behavior of motorists. Okay, so this is something similar to what I've discussed earlier on in the slide. You know, it's really to gather all this information through video recordings in the past, and we put it to good use. You know, a lot of time we understand that you know, CCTV, you know, does a great job, records everything to the black box, but we don't know what really happened. So now with all this technology available, we can single-handedly, you know, pull them up and put them to good use. Okay, I'll speed up a little bit. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the post-investigation. Okay, BriefCam technology actually enables the user to quickly search and quickly search and filter objects and events of interest by metadata, such as man and woman. So we have actually 28 classes of attributes, okay, that includes license plate, facial recognition, appearance, similarity, color, speed, path, direction. A lot of these attributes that could be selected when you want to identify or to search for the situation that you want to understand. So we provide all this easily, with checkboxes. Customer loves it, and they understand, by a few check, the BriefCam will do the most toughest work, okay, to present the result back to the customer. So with this, we are able to do the post-investigation at the same time also to work on the situation awareness where we have real-time information back to the user when a situation actually happens. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to share a quick use case that we have done in France for use in the city of Fleury. Okay, it actually helped us to detect traffic violation and patterns, as well as to increase the efficiency for people and vehicles navigating through the region. So on the right side of your screen, you could see the digital dashboard. That's actually the outcome of the result in the use of the research module within the BriefCam to provide you this important set of information. Okay, it can actually help you to identify the trends, make it easier to detect unusual behavior, so that the community add additional traffic flow, crosswalks, and more based on actionable insight about the pedestrian and vehicle movement and trends. So the trends are the thing that we are trying to identify, to identify them, and with that information being provided to us, we could actually do the redesigning and the planning better, for the smooth flow of the traffic. We also do vehicle counting by understanding how many cars appear at different area, different time of the day. The city planner could actually, do a better planning to increase the traffic flow and alert when activity does not match the recognized pattern. Just like when I give you an example of suddenly the vehicle become slow in speed, so that means something to the whole situation. That means probably you have a massive traffic jam. Okay. Detect traffic violation. Okay, one typical example is that we have customers who love to spot vehicle that goes in opposite direction, or doing an illegal U-turn, doing a illegal right turn or left turn. With all this go unnoticed. With the use of BriefCam, we could use our response module. Whenever this situation is being captured, we are able to notify the command center, or people who are in the law enforcement to say, please take a look at this because somebody has done some violation. Okay, so with that, I conclude my presentation. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for attending again.
Thank you, Sunny.
Yes.
Oh, we have many questions for you.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go over. We still have 3 minutes. We can do a short Q&A here. Oh, so then let's start for the first question. Oh, what do you suggest? Like, is it okay or better to use the cloud-based ALPR for transportation application? ITS?
I think at the end of the day, be it the cloud-based or on-prem, I think it's entirely the user way of policy within their organization. Some of the customer feels that going onto the cloud base might infringe a certain privacy, or certain act that they would not want. So I don't think there's a real hard and fast rule of how is it, should it be a cloud based or should it be on-prem. But I guess definitely the flexibility, we are here to help the customer to offer our solution both on the cloud as well as on-prem, so that they can make the decision.
So it depends on the end user then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh, there's a you able to share your interface, your software?
I don't have it now. We can take it offline for those who are interested.
And there's one question from Vietnam. And there's a solution for human behavior
Right, right.
anomaly detection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So,
human behavior
yeah,
detection.
yeah, yeah. Very good question. I think moving forward, companies like ourselves, we are working on human behavior anomalies. Some of the typical question raised by our customers are, could you detect a guy that's loitering around the bridge for a certain period of time? Could he be like planning to commit suicide or do something tough to themselves? So it's definitely in those direction that today we may not have that attributes, but we are certainly looking into those human anomalies behavior to help our customer even better in the future.
Sure. We are running out of time right now, so
Okay.
Hi, Sunny.
Hi.
I'll
Yeah.
call you back later. Okay. Thanks for thank all the 3 keynote speakers. So here's the final reminder for all the audience that still stay with us right now. If you haven't submitted your questions, remember to leave your comments right now. So before we start our final Q&A session, please allow me to introduce a video about Secutech. Secutech partnering with asmag.com has been creating the Asia largest platform for security and safety industry, and it aims to connect Asia system integrator and distributor with manufacturer from all over the world for more than 23 years. So let's enjoy the video then. Hi, hope you enjoyed the video. And we'll start the Q&A session right now. So let's welcome the 3 keynote speakers to come back to the platform with us. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Hi, David. Oh, hi. Hi, Sunny.
Hi. Bye.
Hi. Okay, so there are some questions. So I will go through the rest of the question right now. Oh, okay. So we have questions about traffic signal. One is asking how to make it correct to read license plate at the traffic signal. For example, if like there's a red light and all the vehicles stop, is it possible to accurately like using license plate recognitions? So Mark, what do you think? Are you able to help answer these questions?
I think normally we don't apply license plate recognition at the intersection. We are normally apply this detection on the roadway. For example, on the expressway or highway. For the intersection, we are we normally to detect the traffic flow, the traffic behavior.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. I think it's not easy to implement traffic license recognition. I mean, for us, we have done traffic license recognition for fixed areas like a construction site, or for, you know, going into a secure area. Those have been implemented. But I mean, if it's moving traffic in where the roads
it's not possible.
It's difficult.
Difficult. Sunny?
Yeah, I totally agree with Mark and David. So I guess the key thing will be, how do we deploy those cameras? Today, in the context of BriefCam, we don't use the standard license plate recognition sort of like solution. We use something related to understanding what is actually on the license plate. We could read those numbers. So, you know, in terms of like the height and the angle, we can do a little bit better, because we are not using the traditional way of license plate recognition. So, I mean, this is the way that BriefCam product works today. Yeah.
So that means there are certain limitation of using video analytics for traffic management, right?
Yes.
So anyone want to take, like, could you guys like briefly explain, like let all the system integrator know what are the limitations, what are the common misunderstanding of using video analytics?
I think there are two basic understandings for video analytics application. The first one, you must have a clear objects for analytics, and the second, you must have sufficient video sample for AI training. For example, if like we talked, if one car is parked or shadowed by another car, or the site is not clear, like a foggy weather or rainy night, maybe the picture is not clear and not easy to identify the object. And besides, if the samples, the volume is limited and not diversified enough, then the samples are useless for precise training. So I think the two factors we have to understand.
Thanks, Mark. Anyone? Okay, let's continue. Let's see, there's a question. Oh, from Mr. Kong. Sunny. Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. The question, like, in ITS applications, what is the best camera to go with BriefCam analytics?
Okay, good question. So BriefCam today, in terms of like our partnership with cameras, we are actually hardware agnostic. We do not require special license plate recognition camera. We work with standard IP cameras. So long the images are good and clear, as what Mr. Mark has mentioned, we could you know, recognize those numbers or those alphabets that is on the license plate itself. So I think the key question would be, some of the countries, you know, in Taiwan you have a Chinese character, or you know, in other parts of the world you have a different character. We may not be able to recognize those characters, but we are going after the numbers, because most likely, if let's say I'm going to do a forensic search with a license plate 1234, then you know, we could dig out those information within the BriefCam to show an array of results. So you know, the user could spot it and to understand, okay, this is a particular vehicle that I'm looking for. And you could also add attributes like the color of the vehicle, so that you can pinpoint the system more accurately.
Thanks. Oh, there's a question for ITS applications. Okay, for all the speaker here, there's a question for all three of you. ITS is quite expensive, So do you see the government's willing to invest in ITS? And how do you get a government to willing to spend on ITS? That is a big question though. Yeah, David, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. I mean, we need to manage in terms of, at the end of the day, I think it's important to identify and know your objectives of what you want to achieve. I mean, I've had customers that, well, some of them have bigger budgets and they're wanting to implement video and video analytics just to monitor how tall a grass grows. So is that necessary? I don't think so, but you know, you could use cheaper solutions like sensors. So it's about the overall objective, identifying the overall objective of what you really want to achieve. Yeah, and don't just use technology for technology's sake. So I mean, yeah, it is expensive, but we need to know what you want to achieve, and then you need to also have that business case to understand if you are preventing safety and hazards. Yeah, perhaps that could be a sound, sound business case for you to implement a bit more expensive because it's about lives, it's about yeah, the hazards. So yeah, you need to weigh that and see what you ultimately want to achieve from your business. Yeah.
Hi, Mark.
Yes.
Based on your experience in Taiwan,
I
that
think
you have many to talk about.
I think the benefit brought by ITS is a social benefit, and it's not like the travel time we saved or the accidents we decreased. But this kind of social benefits are very difficult to monetize internally. So, so normally the pressure in Taiwan come from the citizens, because citizens want to have this kind of a social benefit, and so they will put their pressure to government.
Sunny?
I don't have further comments. I think I agree with what Mr. Mark and David has mentioned.
Yeah, I guess no one have a really great answer for that.
Yes.
Unless the government have a very, very clear understanding and purpose to use video analytics. Okay, here's a, well, very, it's kind of technical questions. When edge AI devices are used, how could we handle US hand-up problem remotely? I think she meant like operational system freeze. Like, is it freeze? So how to deal with that? Or yeah, anyone can share the experience or?
Maybe I just share a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
There are systems, there are device management platforms right now that can enable you to restart edge devices if it hangs. But I mean, those seldom used because sometimes it may be like, we talk about cost and all that. Sometimes it may be easier or cheaper to get somebody to actually physically go down and restart the system. but there are systems, you need to see how you can integrate those device management platform systems into the edge devices, and that can be done through remotely as well. But I mean, I certainly understand this question, especially for large countries where a lot of the devices are sometimes in remote areas, remote places. So yeah, but there are solutions out there.
I just want to add, I think for each devices, I think probably we are talking about IP cameras. Okay, some of the newer generation of IP cameras, probably they could write scripts, within the camera, like cron script, like you detect that you have something that is not working. Then I guess you
Sunny, your voice is a little weak.
Okay. Is it better now?
Okay.
Okay. I was saying, I was saying the modern cameras today, they probably have scripts within those devices, you know, that
Yes.
you know, you could write. So if you detect something anomalies has happened, then maybe you can force the equipment to restart. You know, this could be some of the ways. Yeah.
Anything like Mark want to add to
Yeah,
the answer to your question? This question?
this question, I think you'd better choose a robust OS. You choose Windows, that will hand out very often.
Okay. Oh, here's one more question coming in. Can you forecast that how AI can enhance like the business industry for education and healthcare? David, do your company have this experience in healthcare education? Or
Yeah,
maybe Mark can add something later. Yeah, that is
yeah, there are certainly areas where people are working in AI for education and healthcare. I mean, especially for healthcare, where you know, I've seen solutions where people are putting in, you know, you just need to key in some of your symptoms, and the application or software will then come out with what are your possible diseases that you're having, or some of the possible issues that you are encountering, and also in recommending the certain cures and medicine that you could take. So definitely for AI in healthcare, that's a big thing. Actually, there are many businesses and startups that are doing that. Myself, I mean, we haven't really focused that much on education and healthcare. I mean, it is certainly something which definitely in the future it's going to be big, and it's going to be important as well, because in healthcare, AI, especially with COVID-19. But we have, but we have rollout solutions that are using AI for thermal sensors and facial recognition and all that for people going into buildings and all. But I mean, you could consider that a healthcare, I guess, for temperature sensor, and those are areas. But it's going to be big. Definitely, it's going to be big because look at the situation we're in now.
Any Mark, you are at?
No, I'm not expert on this area.
Okay. Because I think many people see a new opportunity, especially in the post-COVID-19 time period. Like there's going to have a big revolutions for education and healthcare. I think.
Yeah, so June, maybe I'll just add a few things quickly.
Sure.
At BriefCam today, we also have the health solution. Okay, the solution is really focusing on the post-COVID-19 situation. We are talking about detecting people whether they are wearing face masks or not. Are able to do the social distancing. Like, you know, if we find that in an area where people are congregating too much within a meter, then we could send alerts and alarms to operators so that they can clear those people out. And we could also do, you know, sort of like facial recognition. You know, we call that the contact tracing. If let's say this guy is, you know, suspected to be one of the virus carrier, then you know those people around him, through facial recognition, we hope that we can provide those information back to the operators or to the law enforcement people to go and check who this person has mingled with. And lastly, we also did something called the occupancy ratio. You know, if let's say a restaurant or a shop that has more than people that should be residing in those shops, through the video analytics, we could, you know, generate those reports and let people understand that they have exceeded the limit.
Sensing and the cloud detection, such solutions very popular. Okay, going to take the last questions. Oh, okay. This is also kind of nighttime. How to make sure video analytics works well and efficiently for traffic management? Yeah, it's a very practical question anyway. So, Mark, do you have any to share? Like, especially doing like traffic management at nighttime, like camera is a very important factor, or anything else can support?
Yeah, normally we will prefer to have traffic a street light there, so
To support lighting.
for the light environment. Yeah.
Oh, so just getting the better lighting supplies to make sure. Yeah. Sunny, any point you want to add to this one?
I think generally what you see, what you get. So one of the rule of thumb is that you know, make sure that even the human could see it, and I guess that will help to improve the outcome of the detection of those license plates. You know, even like nighttime, you know, the color change. You know, sometimes some of the customers say, "Hey, I want to look for the red car." You know, if let's say it's not clear enough, the color changes in the camera to become black and white, then of course we couldn't detect those. Colors.
Okay. Thank you, all three speakers. So there are some questions like asking for PPT or even know the pricing or want to contact you guys. So I will pass email and the information to these three speakers later after the webinar. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mark and David and Sunny, and all audience that with us in the past 1 hour. And I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. So after you leave the webinar, you will be asked to fill out a survey form. So hopefully be sure to leave your valuable comments and hope to see you next time.